Firstly, I'm Eric. So I've only been in the ZonGuru team for coming up to 2 months now. And but I've been selling on Amazon for 2 years and using ZonGuru software my whole journey. So yeah, I'm super stoked to be here and running some lives with Kimberly and helping you guys out. And yeah, and Kimby, you do the intro.
Yeah, sure. So I can see there's a few people in the sourcing stage. So I'm working on my third brand now. So I'm right in the thick of it with you. I'm also with COVID trying to get my other brand stock over. So I can probably relate to all the different levels that are happening with people online at the moment. So I've been selling on Amazon for roughly 2 years as well. So yeah, it's a super exciting journey. I've been with ZonGuru through that whole process. So between the two of us, Eric and I, you've got a really diverse wealth of knowledge there. And what we've got planned today is really exciting. And it's kind of taking that high level approach that I think you'll get a lot of value out of. So yeah, I'll let you go on with what we've got in store.
Yeah. So today we're going to be jumping into really... we've got one niche ready, and we're going to tell you why we think that this is a good niche. And then we're going to get into, showing you some good products, some bad products. And then we're going to go high level, guys, and work around, picking a product and how to differentiate it and how to make your brand really stand out on Amazon, which we know is so important for in today's climate on Amazon. It's not the same marketplace it was 2 years ago where you pick something off the shelf and you just launch it. It's so important to have a brand and have a visually striking product that stands out. So we're going to be getting into that a little bit today. But before we start, guys, just some house rules. So firstly, Kimberly and I, we're both working from home. So at any point, if our internet is glitchy or sound goes out, just bear with us, guys, and maybe just let us know in the chat. But also at the end, we're going to have a Q&A. So save your questions till the end, and Kimberly and I will do a live Q&A at the end. And yeah, just be respectful and aware that, we're working from home and, stuff might go wrong. I've got my dog crying outside the door. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So without further ado, we'll get into it. I'll share my screen.
We should make your dog the little ZonGuru mascot.
Yeah, he's cute. He's tiny. It's like this.
Right. We've just had a question about where we're based. So I'm on the Gold Coast and Eric's based in Adelaide. So we're both in Australia. Yeah, but of course, a lot of the ZonGuru team is, we've got head office in LA, we've got offices in London, all over the place. So
Singapore, also really international. Awesome. So first of all, here is a niche that Kimberly and I came across, and we thought it was an interesting one to present. So you can see here the keyword I've typed in is sneaker display. And, looking at this niche, first of all, you can see that there's tons of different designs, and it's a visual niche, and it's a niche with gas factor. So those of you who don't know, gas factor, GAS, stands for give a shit. So pretty much it's a niche that, people care about. If we're looking at sneaker display, people that collect sneakers, they're expensive items, meaning that they're going to have money to spend on something they really care about. So they're going to look, beyond page one, and they're going to do extensive research into buying, a really good product. So you can see, like I said, there's lots of different designs. And then if we go into the Chrome extension, you can straight away see here, first things first, the niche score is 58%, which is very healthy. And what I like to look at, first of all, is monthly revenue. So, 55,000 monthly revenue average for this niche. So that shows that there is, considerable demand here. Next thing, I look at the price, and $55, $56, it's a good price point, because we like to teach that, if you're selling a product with higher price points, you usually then have more room, for PPC and more room for profit. So that's how I go around validating this niche. So it has high gas factor. And then, of course, the data here suggests that it's healthy. I've kind of also crossed over two niches for us to look at today. So sneaker display is the first one, but then also sneaker shelf. So they're pretty much the same thing, except, display is more broad, shelf is more specific for shelving the products, putting them on the shelf. So again, same type of data here, 55% niche score, healthy monthly revenue, healthy price point, and that's, high gas factor. And that's how the niche is validated. So Kim, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I want to take it so I know we spoke about this. We really want to take it that one step back where if we're looking at this niche, the numbers look great. Obviously, you'd go into it in further detail through SalesFi and a few of the other tools to really make sure the numbers stack up. But from a high level, it's not as simple as going, okay, this is a great niche. Let's find a shoe rack and let's go. I'm thinking that people who are spending $200-$300, some of these go up to thousands of dollars for these shoes. They really care about how they're presented and how they display. So it comes down to what's going to be attractive to your avatar. Who's your ideal customer for somebody who cares about how their sneakers are kept? Looking at this first row here, you've got so many different options. Do they want them hidden away? Do they want them put on the wall for everybody to see? I'm thinking that somebody who is really interested in this niche, they're probably mid-20s, disposable income, not to be sexist, but probably more a man than a woman. You're probably closer to the avatar that I'm thinking, Eric, than a middle-aged mom. So that's where it helps as well to know a little bit about the products you're thinking of going into, because you can have an insight into the nuances that are really going to be attractive to your ideal customer. So it might be important that it's a certain height because high-top sneakers are this big, whereas I wouldn't necessarily know that. So it's planning out what's important, what resonates with them. And it goes through to every layer of the product building journey. It's the brand name. What language are you going to use in your copy? What colors? Even the most minute detail matters. What shoes are you going to use in the example? If I have this fancy shoe cabinet and I put a pair of Dunlop volleys in there, it's for people outside, that is the iconic cheap Australian shoe. It wouldn't appeal to me if I was that, that real sneaker aficionado. So I think it's really important to delve into the avatar, and it can't be overlooked. And just circling back to understanding your product, if you're not going into a category that you're familiar with, reach out from them. If it's their passion, you won't be able to shut them up. They will be willingly talking and explaining what they like and don't like for that particular item. I was given the example once about a fishing shirt. I don't know anything about fishing, but apparently someone wanted to go into that category. They didn't know anything about it as well. And whatever they designed, it scared the fish away, but they didn't realize that, and people weren't buying it because of that reason. So yeah, I can't overstate that enough. And creating an experience around the product, I think, is super important as well. Everything from the unboxing, making people rave about it to their friends. I had this great product and it came in this beautiful packaging, and look at this insert, and really taking it that next step. Any comments you want to add to the avatar?
Well, just absolutely, totally agree with you. Yeah, you really need to step into, well, first of all, you need to, sit down and really create this avatar and, go as deep as saying, what's their name? What's their age? What type of hobbies do they have? what type of clothes do they wear? Do they have tattoos? Really minute details about the avatar, because you're going to keep this person in mind when you're making all creative decisions through the branding and product differentiation process. So and we will get to that a bit later on, product differentiation, so I'll just touch on it now. But when you are product differentiating, you need to make sure that it's appealing to your avatar. So that's why from the very beginning, once you've chosen your niche, you then need to be like, okay, who exactly am I targeting? You really got to step inside this person's brain. And that's why, often when you yourself are the avatar, if you're selling a product that you like, it may be easier because you can, always just ask the question, would I purchase this? Would I like this? But for example, if, like Kimberly said with the fishing, if you're, I don't mean to be, if you're a 55-year-old woman and you've never fished in your life, you're probably not going to know what, someone who likes fishing is going to want around their branding. You're not going to know what appeals to that demographic. So, yeah, just really important points of having the avatar and just honing in on exactly what would they like.
Yeah, I'd love to show some examples if I can share my screen of a couple that I just found before. Awesome. Let me have a go. All right, so this is actually the listing that has Amazon's choice badge for the sneaker display. And this is the hero image. So the hero image is what you see on the Amazon page, and you dive in and they've got the opportunity to add more images. So I'm just looking at this, and the first thing that comes to mind is it's really bland looking to me. I know that we have to be careful about what we can put in our hero image, but even the shoes they've selected, they're just, to me, they look like run-of-the-mill trainers. I know we've got a pair of Nikes in there, but nothing screams, this is what my avatar would want and put on that rack. But the thing that really got me frustrated with this one is their brand name. M Design means nothing to someone who loves sneakers. Absolutely nothing. So they've lost valuable space there with a word that isn't doing them any favors for their brand. If they had something with the word sneaker or shoe or rack or anything in there, it actually helps with their ranking as well, because this is the first word that people see when they're searching. So everything needs to be thought out, especially brand name, the coloring. There's nothing there. So this is their lifestyle shop, which isn't too bad, but you can see the resolution is quite small. It looks like it's photoshopped if I scroll in on that. And pictures speak 1,000 words. People really shop with their eyes on Amazon. So going above and beyond to visually show how that product works, put it in someone's bedroom, but make sure the bedroom to what your avatar bedroom would be. Maybe it's a cool apartment somewhere with posters that they would be into. I'm just throwing ideas out there, but having a picture dedicated to screws is just baffling to me, because that's valuable real estate that they have just wasted on screws. So if I scroll down, the actual listing copy looks quite good. I haven't been through it, but they're certainly utilizing the space, but they're not using EBC as well. So if they have a brand, which they do, they should be able to add additional images here, different call outs and benefits, and really sell the product, which they're not doing. And remember, this is the listing that has the choice badge for that search term. So it looks like a great product. It's got high ratings, but to me, they've kind of not really trying. So if I flick over to another one, this one here, a little bit better in terms of their brand name actually has the word shoe in it, but still to me, that brand name doesn't, maybe I'm missing a terminology with people who like sneakers, but still doesn't really resonate as far as I can tell. these guys are relatively new and they've put a little bit more work into their photos, which is awesome. They've got call outs, you know, they're really selling the benefits. I know it's lightweight. I can see what size shoe it fits. So they're doing a good job there. You know, ventilation, that makes sense. It's a great idea. And they're using the EBC. So this is what EBC looks like. So instead of that text block, they've got photos. And I know already my mind is going, I like this one better because I can visually see how it looks, how the shoes fit in, how you open the doors, you know, what it looks like in a wardrobe. But this one really caught my eye. So sup, bro. Obviously, if I was really into sneakers, maybe that's a phrase I would say to my friends. It resonates with what I believe the avatar would be attracted to. It's black. Most on here are white. And again, if you're shopping with your eyes and you see a sea of white boxes, black is going to stand out. But brace yourself. This is quite extreme. This is their video. And I'll just let it play.
Can you get the sound on the video, Kim? Because it's got like, you know, it's got really great music to go with it. It might be a bit intense, but
it is very intense. Let me see if I can bring it up. I'm hearing it in my ears.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't think it'll.
It might not let me do it.
Yeah,
basically, it's very bass heavy. What you'd hear in a nightclub. You can see that the coloring, it's very. They've met the avatar perfectly.
Yeah, totally.
Spells out the brand name, but let me just turn that off because I'm not the avatar and that's driving me crazy. But if it was,
I love the
it
video.
would work.
I've watched it before, and I think I would go and buy that product because of that video.
So yeah. So if I scroll down again, they're using EBC. This feels a little off track with what they have at the top. But what I did like is they've expanded their range. You know, you might be thinking, okay, I'm just going to do a shoe rack or shoe storage, and that's the end of that brand. These guys really show that if you've got one up and running, you know, expand that brand, create a total business out of that brand. If you put the effort into it, you're speaking to your customer, you have them on board, they fall in love with your product, they're then going to be more likely to buy your relating product. So if I was that person who collects high-end sneakers, I have them displayed in my Sup Pro box, you know, I would probably be inclined to buy their protector spray or their shoe cleaning kit. I'm all in on that brand. So I thought that was really interesting. And once you've got great video content, you can use that in your advertising as well. And you get prime positioning. It's relatively new, so the competition isn't as high as your traditional PPC spending. And if you think that you can't do a video for your product, I think this one proves you wrong. If someone had said to me, I can't do a video on this product, it's literally me opening and putting shoes in it, you've just got to think bigger, which is exactly, I mean, I'd love to see behind the scenes for filming this, the amount of boxes they've got there.
Yeah, it's wild. I think a lot of it's computerized.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So definitely, but it looks great.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, really.
Yeah. So I'll turn off my screen share now. But yeah, if anyone's got any thoughts on, I mean, the difference is clear as day between each of the ones that I've shown. And it just, with a noisy platform like Amazon, you need to be able to cut through that noise and gather your fans to get ahead. And it's easy to do. As you can see, a lot aren't even trying.
Yeah, absolutely. Great points. Then from here, I think we'll jump onto ZonGuru and run a love-hate session and start diving into ways that we can hone in on strengthening a product and focusing on strengths and weaknesses that are already visible through reviews. So I will go ahead and share my screen again. Awesome. Can you see my screen now?
Yep. good to go.
Cool. So, you know, once we've looked at the niche, we've identified it, you know, as a viable niche. We've looked at ways that, you know, that products stand out in terms of what's a good listing and what's a poor listing. The next thing that we can do within ZonGuru is run a love-hate session. So within product research, you know, love-hate's just here. I've already ran the session. But basically, you can add product by phrases. So if I did sneaker display.
I can see a great question's just come in about having video on your listing. You need to be brand registered first. That's correct. But being brand registered isn't as difficult as it sounds. You just need to have your business trademark, really, which anyone can go through that process and do. It's relatively straightforward. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time depending on what country you're in. For example, I trademark my business names in Australia, and the US accepts that. It doesn't need to be done within the US. And you can do it direct through your government department. So it's highly recommend. It should definitely be done at that starting stage, so that hopefully by the time your sourcing and your products are done, it's gone through that trademark process.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, as soon as you're selling, and you can straight away, you know, optimize the listing with enhanced brand content and video, you know, it's absolutely critical. But back to the love-hate. So you can basically choose all the relevant products and you can add them and you can run a session. And what love-hate will do is it'll go through all of the reviews of all the products that you chose, and it will pull out key terms from 4- and 5-star reviews and pull out key terms from 1- and 2-star reviews. So I've already ran a session here. I added 22 products, and basically what I did it manually. So I added in ASINs manually, and that's because I wanted to choose products that had a lot of reviews, because the more reviews, then you know, the more terms that will come up. So you can see here the products I've gone through. So a lot of them are shoe racks, shoe shelves, you know, sneaker displays. And yeah, so what love-hate will do is run through and pull out the terms, as we can see here. So first things first, I can see, you know, it's gone through 9,200 reviews. So that's, you know, that's a pretty healthy number. What stands out for me, first of all, is, you know, sturdy. So, you know, they like that it's strong, and then, you know, lightweight. So maybe they don't want it to be too heavy. Great quality. So it's a given that they always want quality. But these are the terms I'm kind of looking for, you know, and there are a few others. Easy assembly. So that's an important one. So people don't want to be, you know, they don't want half of their day be taken up, you know, assembling a shelf. They want it to be somewhat already assembled. Another thing we can do within here is, you know, if we have great price, you can actually click on the keyword or the words that come up, and it'll give you the context of where it came from. So great price is a very broad term because you don't know what the price is. But if you click on it, it'll actually show you which reviews this came from. You can actually click here on see product, and it will open up within Amazon so you can actually see the listing and the price. And then here over on the other side, we have the hate. So this is taken from, you know, 1- and 2-star reviews. So, you know, we've got cheap plastic, cheap quality, parts missing.
I think it's funny that the term piece of junk was consistently used.
Yeah, there you go. Must be an American thing. Plastic pieces. So, you know, you can start to see what terms are popular. And then down here in love-hate, which is a really handy tool, you can actually write notes. So I've gone ahead and done that previously. So from the positives, I took that, you know, people want, you know, a super sturdy, easy to assemble, great quality product, lots of space and lightweight. Whereas the negatives, they don't want cheap plastic, they don't want missing parts, which is a given. They don't want it to be flimsy. So that, you know, people are basically looking for a good quality, sturdy product. And these are things that I would certainly consider when looking for a product to sell and when discussing with my manufacturer. So once we've done that, another great insight in the love-hate tool is we have instant access to searching on Google or Pinterest. So we can straight away write in a term like cool sneaker display and open it up on Pinterest, and this will start generating, tons and tons of ideas that may or may not be on Amazon. So for example, here we already see, this is a pretty cool, different design. It's wall-mounted individual shoes. Does this relate directly to the feedback we got in Love Hate? No, not really, but it's still, a cool design. Another one here, an interesting one, is this wooden design.
I like that one.
Yeah, it looks really classical. It looks quite classy and premium. But an important thing to consider is your avatar. If your avatar's a 25-year-old male who loves basketball, do you think a wooden shelf would appeal to them? It might, but it might not. It's one of those things that you need to really think about. Whereas if you scroll down, here's another design that's not on Amazon. That's quite an interesting one.
And you can see that none of these styles we could see on the Amazon platform already. So they're original, they're different.
Yeah. And this one here really stands out for me, which is like an LED light shelf. And, I think that this is, a cool product. It illuminates, people want to have their shoes on display and really show them off. It kind of illuminates them and gives a bit of like a cool, mysterious feel. So, there's tons of ideas just through searching on Pinterest where you can start getting creative and really just start thinking about the different types of designs that are available already without you even needing to really do anything.
Yeah, I like the LED one. I feel like that would meet the avatar pretty much on the money that we were talking about before.
Yeah, totally agree. That for Stuff Pro.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they would be all over that.
Yeah, it's got the similar vibe. It's kind of it suits. And coming from me, I probably come within the age of the avatar. I think that it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that's basically how to run the Love Hate session. Get important feedback from reviews, because previously before this tool, basically you had two options. Either you have to sift through every single review yourself, it will take literally hours. There's, we're looking at tens of thousands of reviews, and or you would pay someone on Fiverr to do it for you. But now, using this tool, literally, a few clicks, and you can, you have the feedback that you need, and then straight into Pinterest for visual differentiation, and just to get those ideas flowing, just the creative juices of, okay, so I've got my avatar. Now, how can I find a product that relates to them that isn't already available on the Amazon platform? And from there, you start making your brand and your product differentiation around this avatar that you've created.
Yeah, no, that's great. We've just had some more questions come in. Ellen's asked what the different colors in the niche score mean, and that's a great question, because that's supposed to cut through a lot of the, there's so much data that you can go through, but we've tried to simplify it to make life as easy as possible so that you can jump in and instantly go, no, this niche is not for me, or okay, maybe we can go further here. So I'm just going to send you an article to take a look at, which goes through it in detail. But basically, the nuts and bolts of it are, the higher the percentage for each category, the more attractive the niche. So you can see with this one, the revenue potential's off the charts. It's up there. The buyer demand's really healthy in the competition. The investment is where it's slightly shorter. So the investment relates to the startup capital that's needed to get a product like this off the ground, and it's based on having what the cost would be to stay at page one with 3 months of stock. So you can see the launch budget is over in the right hand corner. It is quite high, so that's why your investment ranking is on that lower side. So that's the launch budget suggestion. Like I said, for that 3 months at page one, you might be able to do it a lot cheaper depending on what your product style is, what materials you use, how you negotiate with suppliers, but it's a fairly good guide.
Totally. Should we open this up to Q&A now, Kim, or is there anything else you want to touch on in the Love Hate?
No, I mean, love hate is definitely a crucial step, and it's not designed, I guess, to go, okay, I'm just going to copy a product off Pinterest and not do what this seller did. It's designed to get you creative, remembering that the more original your idea, the less direct competition you're going to have. If you go into a category selling the exact same thing as 5 other people, you're going to be in a bit of a price war, and you don't want that. So it's really getting those creative ideas flowing, and it doesn't need to be completely left of center. It can be as simple as changing the color, the size, putting an LED light under it. You don't need to be reinventing the wheel, but you definitely want to have that point of difference. And love hate will really help with that, and making sure you don't make the same mistakes as other sellers have with what the bad reviews have come in for.
Yeah, totally. Yes, I think that I'll stop sharing my screen and we can jump into some questions.
I think I missed a few back for. Let me have a look. So great question, Long. So ASIC is different to your brand name. So you'll need, if you're dealing with ASIC, that's the Australian competition. What's it stand for? Australian Securities and Investments Commission. That's where you basically buy your business name. You then want to take it to IP Australia to trademark your business name. So depending on how many categories you want that covered for, you're usually looking at a cost of about 300 Aussie dollars. And it's about a 3-month process. So definitely worth looking into, because they're completely separate. But once you've gone through the IP process, you'll get basically a registration number that you then give to Amazon. And it's up to you when you want to do that, but obviously sooner rather than later, because then you get that extra shelf space with your photos and your ability to add videos.
Cool. Let us know if you have any questions, guys. I mean, it can be relating to anything, even your personal situation on Amazon right now. So don't be shy. Hit us with your questions, and we'll see if we can help.
We've even got the ability, if you're really brave, to jump on camera. We'd love to see some faces, because it feels, we love seeing who we're talking to. And I know a few of you we've dealt with before, and it's just, I think there's a little hand icon that you can click on. So Ellen, you've got a question about the competition. When it's low, it doesn't mean the market's fully saturated. It just means that it's highly competitive in terms of maybe they're really, they've been selling for a long time in that category. People have lots of ratings. It means it's definitely more difficult. You're going in against quite strong listings. It might be harder to get to page 1. You're really going to have to work hard for that one.
I still wouldn't let that completely defer you, though. If the percentage is low, it's up to you. If it's low, but you have an incredible idea of a product that's visually differentiated and it's going to stand out, then absolutely still go with that. Don't let that completely say no to that.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you've got a great idea to differentiate. 100%. 100%. Because it can be as competitive if it wants, but if your product jumps off the page, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So Alice, like all things to do with government and paperwork, it can take some time. I'd aim for about 3 or 4 months to get a trademark through in Australia at the moment. I know they have been backlogged. So the sooner you start that process, the better. But and it doesn't stop you from selling in the meantime. It just have it working away in the background for you.
Beck, so can you trademark your business name over your product to list a wide range on Amazon?
So I don't want to get into the legal specifics because I'm not a lawyer, but basically the way it works is you say, okay, my brand name, for example, is Supbro, and I would like to cover these categories. So if I'm Supbro, I'm not going to be interested in trademarking it for a frying pan.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that when you're filing your trademark with your trademark attorney or patent attorney, that will let you know the fine details, and that will really walk you through that process.
So What else have we? We've got a few others, which is, I love getting these questions. It really, yeah. There's nothing worse when you speak into the void. So yeah, keep them coming. It's great. So niche finder, keywords on fire, and keyword spotlight. Yes, I'm so excited about this. So we are, we've been working really hard. I shouldn't say we, because I'm not the programming team. They are bringing out the Australian and European analytics, which means all those tools that we love and use constantly will be available for those markets late November, early December. They're making sure that they're getting the data super accurate and it's in testing and everything's looking great. So I cannot wait to let everybody know, and I hope I don't get in trouble for breaking that news too early, but yeah, it's on its way.
Cool. So Maricela, can I download that kind of report like niche in my computer? I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mind clarifying that a little bit so we can dive into it?
You can export the niche, the Chrome extension data to Excel. And I know a lot of people do like doing that if that's what you're referring to. You can even filter the results and then export it, so you're not left with all this crazy list of data. So yeah, I've got a soft spot for anyone who likes Excel because I'm an ex-accountant.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I can't stand Excel and like that.
So Daryl, the trademark covers a brand, and a brand can have multiple products. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You've got it. Yeah. Got it nailed. That's right. So Graham, this looks like a good question. Is it possible to launch a product against a particular seller? Absolutely. I mean, that's so launching against a competitor who is well established in the market, it's never an easy thing. They usually have a lot of ratings on the board, and people do rely on that when they're shopping. But if you can do the product better quality, you reach the avatar exactly where you need to be, you're going to gain traction very fast and gain that customer loyalty. So if you're going up against what I like to call a lazy seller, that's their problem. You're there to create this fantastic brand that your customers love, and it's going to
I view that like as a big opportunity. Really, it's like a sleeping lion. Like they've got all of these reviews and they're getting all this traffic, but they have poor listing. And you can come in and create a better product, better listing. Then you can for sure take a slice of that pie.
Yeah, for sure. So Long's wanting to know where we sell. We're both on the US at the moment. I'm in Canada, US, and Mexico. I was on Australia briefly, but I think it was when it first hit Australia, and I don't think the market was established enough. But I'd certainly be willing, with my latest brand, to take it to Australia, because I've even talking to family and friends, they're starting to shop on Amazon, and it's starting to become known and a thing. And what are your thoughts on that, Eric?
Yeah, so I'm only selling in America, but I've been thinking about Europe. So I'm personally probably going to sell in Europe before Australia, just purely based on the statistics of how many online shoppers there are and population of the continent, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's I'm not quite at Europe yet. I don't know how my products would go there, but keep me in the loop.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was about exporting the report. So I'm happy to share my screen and show you exactly how to do that. Let me just get organized.
Alice is saying the connection is bad. Is anyone else experiencing bad connection? Let us know, guys. Can you hear me right now? Everything okay?
I can't see anything. I hope we haven't lost everybody. I'll keep going because I know it's recorded, and if anybody drops out or misses out, they'll be able to watch this back. But basically, cool, we've got some good. So to export the data, it's simply, and I don't know if you missed it, there was a little, I think they call it a burger icon up the top here. If you click on that, you can download to CSV. But if you would like to filter the results first, you can filter it and say, only show me, for example, people selling products over $40, and I don't want to see anybody with more than 800, put that in the wrong box, ratings. And it will filter your results to only show you those sellers, and then you can, of course, extract that data to CSV rather than the entire list. Although there's no problem exporting the entire list if that's what you'd like. So I hope that helps. Yeah, Daryl, your thoughts? Australia will grow. Yeah,
definitely,
absolutely. And I'm noticing it. I probably I'm an Amazon Prime subscriber in Australia, and I bought a dog barking collar yesterday off there. Yeah, I was hoping I didn't need it yet. It's so far my dog's been silent. So
I'm also Amazon's Prime subscriber here, and I shop on Amazon more than I'd like to admit. It's one of the things. But I've also noticed that Amazon are putting a lot into advertisement in Australia. I don't know who watched the AFL Grand Final, but during the ads, every second ad, Amazon Prime. It'd be Amazon Prime, another ad, then Amazon Prime. So they are definitely coming in heavy.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of, you're essentially, when you are a private label seller on Amazon, you are partnering with one of the biggest retailers globally. So you're leveraging that. I mean, we didn't need to organize advertising for a Prime sports event. They're doing it for us. They're driving the customers to the platform. We just have to be there with the right product for our customer. So, yeah, Beck loves shopping on Amazon too. Awesome. We're not the only ones. Yeah. And there is opportunity, 100%. So, if anyone's got any other questions or comments, or brave enough to put their hand up and jump on camera, that option's still there. So you do need, each marketplace has its own Seller Central type platform. You can flick between certain marketplaces. So, for example, Canada and the US, it's just a drop-down button and you flick between the two. Australia, I know when I was selling on there, I had to log out and log in, but I don't know if they've updated that since. Like I said, I was a very early adopter with Australia, but you do need to register for that marketplace.
Awesome. So, Kim, I think we have a request here to speak.
Ooh, who is it? Yeah.
Oh, no, it's gone now. It was here, but now...
I saw it. Maybe I
clicked the tick. Long, if you want to jump on, let us know. We've got about roughly 10-ish minutes, guys, so, we can use this time up. Any more questions, if anyone wants to jump on. Here we go. Long has joined the room.
John will be so excited to hear that we got someone on board. He tried to do this in his Saturday training and got nothing. Hello.
Long. Or is it pronounced?
Long.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Great to see you. Great to meet you. How long have you been with ZonGuru?
Only the last month. So there was a 7-day deal and stuff, so I tried it out and stuff because I've been trying to find a tool for the Australian market. So it's been, and then I was, looking at other ones like eGrow and Helium 10 and everything like that. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, you'll be super excited when all the Australian analytics come live in a couple of weeks.
That's what I'm waiting for because I like the listing optimizer, but it's only pulling keywords on file from the US. So, US, they search differently to Australian consumers.
Yeah. Well, you'll definitely have the head start to get on board and get your Australian listing fully optimized.
Excellent. Yeah.
I think it's going to open up a lot of opportunity. And whereabouts were you dialing in from?
Brisbane.
Cool. Sorry, that's right. Brisbane. Yeah. You haven't been hit by those nasty storms.
Yeah, no, it's been good. But yeah, we had hail and stuff like that. So the last couple of days. So it's been interesting. It hasn't been hailing for a while. So
yeah, absolutely needed the rain. But yeah, good opportunity to work on the Amazon business. Get inside and
we're interested as well in future training, like especially on PPC.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so if there's any opportunity coming up, I'm sure we'll get the email. But yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. We love hearing that feedback, and we know PPC is such a crucial step once you've launched to really dial in and make sure your campaigns are working properly. It is a more of a high-end training, so we would definitely put something out so that we don't overwhelm people just starting on the journey. But yeah.
And we know our software team is also working on a PPC related tool. We're not sure when it's going to be released, but we do know that's in the works. So
yeah,
that's great.
We're going to get in so much. We're just spilling secrets left, right, and center. I'll get an angry call later going, stop.
Between us guys, don't start spreading.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We're happy to share because, we're sellers as well, and these are tools that, really move the needle. So, yeah, cool. Oh, thanks for being brave enough to jump on board, and it's great to put a face to the name.
Great to see you.
Yeah, Eric and I both work in the customer success team as well. So if you ever get stuck using the tools or anything like that, there's a good chance that it's one of us that you'll be put in touch with. So yeah.
Good to put a name to a face.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a few other people saying PPC is a great idea. So definitely take that on board.
Yeah, because I noticed I just started putting something in the US and I put on PPC. Holy crap, the budget just eats through like nothing. Compared to Australia, it takes more time, but because it's a bigger market, you have to put a bigger chunk of money.
Just
and it's US dollars as well.
Yes, absolutely. Just touching on that, I find with my own launches, because I obviously have the same issue, the PPC spend can be huge. I tend to focus on those longer keywords initially, and then once I start ranking for those, it organically helps me with those smaller. So if we use the sneaker display example, rather than maybe going for sneaker display, I'd say wall-mounted sneaker display, or sneaker display for high-top sneakers, or like the longer. Still highly relevant, but you'll find the PPC bid cost is half sometimes.
Yeah. And it's what John always calls the halo effect, where you target the long tail keywords, and then they in turn make you rank organically for the short tail keywords. So it's like low bids on the long tail, and then you start ranking organically for the short tail keywords that usually have a higher PPC bid.
Okay, because at the moment my keywords are only 2 or 3 words and stuff, so they're not as long as.
A long tail keyword doesn't necessarily mean that it's like 3 or 4 words. It can just be a keyword that has like more search volume. So it's kind of like mixed definition. Yeah.
I've just had a question come through from Jordan about entering a niche with well-known brand names. It definitely makes it more difficult because they've had years building up a loyal customer base. So it's going to be, I'm not going to lie, that would be a really tricky one unless you're able to offer them something unique or different. That could be a really slow process to kind of get to that level. So
that's why we kind of recommend staying away from like clothes and shoes, because you're directly competing with, these brands like, for shoes like Nike, or clothes Tommy Hilfiger. And these brands have multi-millions in marketing budget. So, and they have that brand recognition that even if their listing is poor on Amazon, that brand already, what they stand for. You're more likely to buy a Tommy Hilfiger shirt than, just a random brand. It's one of those things,
Yeah, it's definitely a red flag unless you can be novel, very unique, and I'd say more pain point focused. So being able to solve something that the others can't, which sometimes you can when you're a nimble seller because you don't have that big juggernaut of a business to try and navigate. You can be quick and light on your feet and change to the market conditions. But yeah, definitely a lot of thought needs to go into that one. Yeah. Cool. Oh, thank you Robert's just had, thank you. We work really hard it's a community of sellers and we love being part of this group, and thank you very much. Okay. Well, and I think we've got time for one last question. So Mickey is researching products, seasonal products, Halloween and Christmas. Can you filter them out? You definitely can if you're using Niche Finder. There's a little box down the bottom that says exclude keyword. Just type in Christmas, Halloween, or any of those words that you keep seeing a lot of. Mine seems to be inundated with candles. I don't know if that's because of COVID and everyone wants candles around the house, but you can definitely exclude those keywords you don't want to see. Yeah.
Totally. Cool. So, yeah, I think we might wrap it up here, guys. So thank you all so much for joining. And, we'll be doing these most weeks now, Kimberly. Is that right?
Every second Thursday will be us, and every Saturday is John in the Southern Hemisphere time zone. Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. And
thanks for being brave enough to jump on. It's awesome. See ya.
All right. See you later, guys.